Eyes are gently closed. Center yourself. Locate yourself in the present moment. Let us breathe in. Inhale. Inhale. Let us together chant Asatoma Sadgamaya. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gently you may open your eyes. You may repeat after me. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. The text that I have chosen for this series of classes is Upadēśa Sāram of Ramana Maharshi. Before that, a few foundational insights about Vedanta. Vedanta is a vision which frees us from the bondage of samsara, from the bondage of dukkha, from the bondage of dissatisfaction, a sense of inadequacy that a person always feels. In spite of many things around, there seems to be something in the head, something in the system which makes a person feel dissatisfied in spite of so many accomplishments in the external world. Vedanta puts an end to this dissatisfaction. There seems to be sorrow in life in spite of many things. There are problems, of course. There are solutions as well. But in spite of all of it, there seems to be deep-seated dissatisfaction, sorrow, and sadness. The vision of Vedanta is a cure for this disease. In the scriptures, samsara, meaning a life characterized by continuous doing of one thing after another in a dissatisfied state. This is considered as a disease. Vedanta is a cure for this bhava roga, for this disease called samsara. One is never in a state of joy. One is never relaxed in spite of whatever one has accomplished. That is samsara. Many people think samsara means married life. No, it's not that. People make married life into samsara. The vision of the rishis is that grihastha is a wonderful setup for a person to grow. But people get confused, people have misplaced priorities, values, over expectations, and make the very institution into something which causes stress, etc. So the vision of Vedanta puts an end to the disease called samsara. A common man in the world is also constantly wanting to be free from this inner state of dissatisfaction. It's not that only spiritual people pay attention to it and come to ashrams and retreat and pay attention to this inner conflict and study Bhagavad Gita, etc. No, it's not that. Even a worldly person is constantly trying in the world to solve this problem. And that person solves that problem, of course, but momentarily. There's no permanent solution. This person has various temporary solutions, 1 minute solutions, quick fixes, all of it. The world offers them. Again and again, world invents new temporary solutions. And the person goes for it in order to find inner solace. Because everybody knows life cannot go on with such dissatisfaction in the system. So the person takes help of the world, depends on the world in order to get rid of this dissatisfaction, but alas, one is never satisfied because all that world offers is all temporary. World has countless temporary solutions. All the time, the world keeps on showing like how a dog is shown a bone in order to jump or do something. The world constantly shows one thing after another for a person to keep jumping for the sake of satisfaction and joy, but alas, a person never finds it. The world markets happiness in things, in cars, in holiday destinations. You know, often when I'm traveling in Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, etc., I come across this hoardings on the highway near the airport, especially when you come out of the airport or when you're going into the airport. There are a lot of premium advertisement boards. So what do they put there? They put happiness starts from 4.5 crore rupees only. What is that? So they put up something to say that if you buy this apartment, this flat, then you will be happy. And that happiness has a cost. And it starts from a premium price. And you all are very familiar with the holiday advertisements also. Come there, forget the world, this, that. We have everything, cruise and this and that. All the time, the world keeps marketing one or the other thing. If we look back into ancient Bharat or even present Bharat in so many sections, or a mind of a Hindu or Sanatana Dharmi, sometimes even religion has got these concepts. Happiness is not here. Where is happiness then? In the heaven. Destination is marketed. A lot of people are destination oriented. They're always, what is there in the mind is where next, what next. December, India tickets are already ready. People who didn't have those tickets are here. Very good. Always, what next? So a religious mind is also in a destination mode. And what is that destination a religious person has come up with is heavens, Svargaloka. It's not only in Sanatana Dharma. If you look at world religions, in fact, some of the major world religions, the end goal of life is heaven. They have also kind of conceptualized a solution to the problems of the world, the problems that person faces within, and they seem to be offering a grand solution. What is that grand solution? The solution is heaven. Happiness it's as if it is decided. Happiness is not here. Satisfaction cannot be found here. Bondage cannot be broken here. Then what is it all of this resort to? To heavens. To heavens. And if you look at some of the conceptualizations of heavens, it is very silly, in fact. It is like whatever is here, you have an upgraded version of it. What in heaven there will be always what? Unlimited food and drink. You can go to Las Vegas for it. So why put so much effort to go to heaven? You might as well take a flight, and if all you want is unlimited food and beverage, you can find it here, isn't it so? What is to go to to heaven? Then what is there in the heaven? Dance and music. Again, LA is the destination. I haven't been there, I'm just saying. There is a destination here. Why go there? So, the conceptualizations of heaven is quite silly when you look at it from a philosophical standpoint. That there is going to be dance, that's going to be unlimited food and this thing, that thing. That's it. That's it. So the commitment really of a person who wants to go to the heaven also, the commitment is not really heaven, the commitment is pleasures. Bhoga. The commitment is pleasure. And the nature of pleasures and desires are that the desire can never be satisfied. There's not particular desire, there's never a place, never a time where desires end if you're operating only in the worldly paradigms. If you're operating in the worldly paradigm. So Vedanta, Upadēśa Sāram, Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita question us. Vedanta asks this fundamental question. Is pleasure the ultimate focus of life? Is pleasure the ultimate goal of life? And in order to gain pleasures, a person does many things, karma, actions. So are actions ultimate goal of life? Ultimate goal of life. Because you see, if you consider pleasure and actions as ultimate goal of life, kama, artha as ultimate goal of life, it can never be attained. Why? Because there is no point that you can set. This is the highermost pleasure. This is the action after which I need not do anything. This is the last action I am going to do. Can you set that in life? Can you set it like that? Some people have had wonderful plans. They worked so hard. They have a New Jersey home, a Florida home. Everything is done. Now nothing to worry. I can take a cup of chai and drink, and then there is a plumbing issue. So there's nothing like last action. After this action, I need not do anything. There will never be such a point in one's life. So Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita shows us the limitation of karma, limitation of pleasures. Vedanta is for a person who has sort of understood the limitation of pleasure, seeking constant pleasures in the world. Vedanta has something to say to such a person. What if one is still seeking pleasures in life all the time? I mean, if that is the ultimate focus of one's life, then one may take some more time to try out in the world, to keep on pursuing those pleasures and see what happens. Then probably one may come to spiritual inquiry called Vedanta. Otherwise, let that person be in the world for some more time and keep on continuing pleasures, pursuit of pleasures. So Vedanta asks a question: is there an end to desire? Is there an end to desire? Why do we ask such a question? Because, you see, desire is like a kida. When it is there in the mind, you're just not, it's as if you're just not all right. It's just like an insect sitting in the ears. You just have to get rid of it. So, in life also, whenever there is a desire, a person acts upon it legitimately, nothing wrong with it. There is a desire for a car, fine, a person gets it, nothing wrong. With good means, with hard-earned money, a person purchases it. What's wrong in that? Nothing wrong in that. But that desire to have a car had consumed that person for 3 months or 2 months. But having got that car, what happens to desires? Does it end there? No, next something else comes. I need to put something else inside this car. The new desire starts. After that, is that an end there? No, something more. So Vedanta asks the question, can there be an end to desires? Because they disturb us, they consume us, life seems to be possessed by them. Can there be a different way to life? Can I pursue life with a different focus? Can there be an end to desires which bother a person, which bother me? Vedanta says, yes, there's an end to it. You can operate in the world from a different focus. You can pursue something higher than just pleasures in life. To such a person, Upadēśa Sāram starts. Upadēśa Sāram starts. Upadēśa Sāram is a text, or Upadēśa Sāraha is a text by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, a great jnani that the world has known in recent years. Ramana Maharshi is sort of an exception. Usually people go to a guru, they study the Shastras, they contemplate, they absorb the vision of the Shastra to become a jnani, to recognize one's own Swarupa. But very interesting thing in Ramana Maharshi's life is that Ramana Maharshi was this person of great level of Chitta Shuddhi. purity of mind, and he is a jnani somehow. He never went to a guru formally, he never studied shastras, and there is this amazing insight, wisdom, jnanam in his heart, and through his small writings, through his words, many thousands, millions have been inspired to pursue jnana marga and take its benefit. So Ramana Maharshi is an exception to the rule. The rule is study the shastras, gain the necessary inner qualifications, meditate upon it, internalize it, and get rid of this disease called samsara. That is the usual path. So, whenever there is a rule, there are exceptions too. Ramana Maharshi is such an exception. And in a particular context, when one of his students asked him to give a concise version of Shiva's teachings in a Puranic translation context, Ramana Maharshi gives this text, Upadēśa Sāram. So this text is very loaded. You know, it's like a zip file. So highly compressed, but there's a lot of content in it. When you look at this text, it's just 30 verses. But then you have to decode these verses. You cannot just take the verses at the face value, because they contain so much more depth and a connection to other sources of Vedanta, to Bhagavad Gita, to Upanishads. They're directly connected, and you need to unfold these verses in order to gain the essential meaning of these verses. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna presents the knowledge as the royal secret. You know, these verses are like kind of open secrets. They are there right in front of us. But if you don't have a mind to understand it and decode it, it can remain as secrets forever. The objective is not to keep them as secrets forever. The objective is to decode them, unfold them, understand them, absorb the wisdom contained in it, and live a free and happy, healthy life. So that is Upadēśa Sāram. At the beginning of it, Ramana Maharshi is discussing karma, the actions, a life which is focused and obsessed with actions. In fact, people are so consumed by actions that in life there doesn't seem to be a quiet moment. See, I kept quiet for a moment. How many of you felt uncomfortable? Something odd. Seems something odd. What is this? We are not even comfortable with pauses. Life has become so mechanical. We just don't know how to handle pauses. We don't know how to handle silence. Something must be going on all the time. That's how obsessed we are about actions. So Ramana Maharshi is examining, critiquing the karma or actions. And actions in our context are of two kinds. Karma, the Sanskrit word for action is karma. Karmas are of two types. One is Vaidika karma or religious actions prescribed by the Vedas. It could be homa, it could be puja, it could be anushtana, any of it coming from the scriptures. And then there is another category, laukika karma or worldly actions, where one performs various things in the world. Not necessarily prayers per se, but many worldly actions that a person performs in order to just make life happen, in order to live. So these actions are there. So at one time in Bharat, there were this group of philosophers and followers of that philosophy who believed the religious actions, the karmas, are the ultimate thing in life. You do not need anything else. This group of philosophers were called as purva mimamsakas. They had great faith in the Vedas and all the rituals which are prescribed by the Vedas, but they did not believe in God. They said, I need something for my life and I will perform this ritual, and that's it. The ritual, karma, will give karma phala. Ritual will give its results, and what I want is result. Suppose I want a child, I will perform certain prayers and ritual, and that ritual will give the fruit of that action, that karma. Phala is in the form of a child or punya. That's enough. That's enough. So this paradigm suits my entire life. That's all what I want. Karma, karma phala. I don't need karma phala dhata. Meaning, I don't need a principle called God in order to live life. I will perform rituals and rituals will give result. That's it. But they had tremendous faith in Vedas. They believed that Vedas and the world are eternal, but I do not require God in order to live life. Such was the orientation of a group of philosophers and their followers called purva mimamsakas. Swamiji, why are you saying some thousands of year old story? What relevance to our life today? In fact, purva mimamsaka philosophy is still alive in many of the religious lives and also worldly life. You can compare this group of people to today's workaholics. All they believe is work and the money the work is going to get and the pleasures that you're going to get out of that work. Nothing else exists for them except the work and the money that the work brings. That kind of a commitment to the actions, like that of this group of philosophers called purva mimamsakas. Or many ritualistic people you might find in society where they really do not have big bhakti, shraddha for God or anything. They just do puja, finish everything, eat prasadam and done. That's it. And that's it. So often I ask in temple satsangs, hey, you did so, after like so much ritual, this, that, everything is done. So after that satsanga, so I ask a question to devotees. Hey, what is the color of the dress given to the Murti today? To the Bhagavan today, to Devi today? What is the color of the sari? No hands will be raised. Because nobody's focus was on the deity. The focus was all on dravya. Dravya means what? Objects used for rituals. Oh, whether ghee is there, whether milk is there. Hey, do you have flowers? Do you have chandanam? Do you have agarbatti? Did you bring that thing, this thing, that thing? So the whole focus is in the actions. Never ever the focus is on Bhagavan. So we find this kind of neo-purva mimamsakas or modified purva mimamsakas even in today's society. So Ramana Maharshi is questioning, is such a life a possibility to give ultimate peace and satisfaction? Are they lacking something? does this paradigm lack something? In your own experience, you can analyze world and know that how many things are lacking in such an approach where it's mechanical. I need something for that purpose. I will do a ritual or a pilgrimage or something, and that's it. I don't care about anything else. That's why in the Devasthanam lines, people push each other all the time. Because I don't care what the other person feels. I don't mind stepping on that another person. I don't mind bribing the officials to go into a front line. I don't mind making some phone calls in order to show my power, in order to get a special darshan. I don't mind any of it. I don't mind purchasing the laddu, prasadam, illegally. I don't mind anything. Why? Because all I want is karma and karma phala, ritual and the result of the ritual. That's it. I don't care for values. I don't care for God. I don't care for anything else. All I want is my pleasure. Even you see, God is not sought after. Pleasure is sought after even in a pilgrimage. So before you go to the darshan, what are the things that you make sure? Do I have a AC room in that pilgrimage spot? Will I get all 3 good meals? Do I have to stand in line for many hours, or how many hours? Can I get a half an hour thing? Is there something? Can I pay some more money in order to get it? I don't mind. I earn in dollars. So all of it, the focus has changed from God, darshan, towards pleasure, comfort. All that I'm looking for is pleasure and comfort. So this paradigm definitely lacks so many things. They're fundamentally wrong. And in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna questions us about these things. And in this text, Ramana Maharshi is showing the limitations of such an approach. So we'll look into the text. You may repeat after me. Karturajñaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. So Maharshi is telling, Karturajñaya prapyate phalam. You get the result of an action by the will of a higher power. That higher power is being called as Karta in this context. You can say Ishvara. You can say Bhagavan. So by a higher principle, one gets result of an action. In fact, what is the focus, or what is the most important part, is not the karma, not the actions, but a higher principle, a higher power called Ishvara, Karta, Bhagavan, who is guiding the actions and the result of actions as well. Karma kim param, karma tajjadam. Maharshi is telling, all the results of the action you find because of the will of a higher power. There are laws of karma which enable a fruit or a result of an action to come. It's not just because I do something, I get the result. Is it that like in the world? I want $1 million, I invest in the stock market, and just by doing that action, are you going to get the result of it, that profit that you're looking for? No. If this was to be paradigm, every action must have given you the result that you want. It doesn't work like that in our life. So the rishis want us to recognize this another higher principle with whose will the actions and the results of actions are governed. There is a higher principle which is governing our results of action. Isn't it so? So Maharshi is telling, in fact, that higher principle is greater, not the karma. The karma is not the ultimate, the action is not the ultimate. Because action is jadam. Action is not a conscious principle. This higher power is a conscious entity, not the actions. Actions are insentient. They begin at a certain point, they end at a certain point. They are not permanent. And each and every action doesn't give you the result that you want. It can give you the result you want. The result could be totally opposite. And result could be what you did not expect. It is not matching your expectations. So results are of these various categories. So the karma, action, and its result aren't the ultimate thing. May you recognize a higher principle. May you recognize a higher principle which is governing the entire Jagat. Do not just be in this paradigm of action result. I want something, for that I will do something and I should get something out of it. I should get what I want. It is a very childish approach to life. I recently saw some video or something. A mother has peeled a banana and is giving that banana to the hand of the child. And in that and the child holds on to that banana, and then the portion, the top portion of the banana breaks down. It cuts off. Now the child starts crying and tells the mother, "Fix it." Fix it. Can you fix it? You can put a toothpick and fix it or whatever, something. That's not really fixing it, isn't it so? A child doesn't understand the reality properly, how things work, how things operate. So when the world doesn't meet the child's expectation, the child cries because it doesn't have the full conception of the reality. Similar is an adult, isn't it so? The adult also wants the life to be what he or she wants. Otherwise, that person is tensed and frustrated and cries, just like the child. The world doesn't operate like this. The world operates on the basis of law of karma, which is governing everybody's actions and results of actions. There were two neighbors. A person, house number 1, there is a wedding in that house in the evening. So that the house with the wedding is praying to God, "Oh God, we have the outdoor wedding today. It's not an indoor wedding. I do not want rain today. Please, God, please, whatever you do, please do not give rain. Do not give rain. I don't want rain." And house number 2, there's a farmer who has land, who has just put seeds, who has sown seeds, and then he has covered those seeds and nicely prepared the ground, and it has to rain, otherwise the seeds will be burnt and it won't sprout. So the farmer is praying to Bhagavan, "Oh Bhagavan, please give me rain." All my entire savings are invested into tilling the land and sowing these seeds and purchasing the manure and putting it and hiring the laborers and equipments and all of it. "Oh God, please give rain." So what should God do now? What should God do now? Isn't it a very childish conception that all my prayers have to be answered? A very childish conception. An adult way of looking, a matured way of looking at life is, not everything is in my control. I can do only so much. I can pray only so much. But having done all of it, the results are not up to me. My karmas, my actions, and the results of actions are governed by a higher principle. So by that laws of karma, I gain my result, not just because I prayed. Not just because I prayed. World doesn't work like that. Hare, this seems like a bad news. It's not a bad news. This is about reality, Satyam, isn't it so? A matured approach is to accept this fact of life. A matured person is a person who accepts facts of life. Accepts facts of life. Karturajnaya prapyate phalam. By the will of that higher power, one gets what one has to get in life. Not by just your own efforts alone, by your own karma alone. Karma kim param, karma tajjadam. Is karma the ultimate? No, the karma is not ultimate. Karma, in fact, actions are temporary. Actions perish. The results of actions also perish. And they're insentient. Maharshi is also pointing out another aspect here, that karma, actions are not the ultimate goal of life. Because a lot of people believe that liberation for your moksha, actions are enough. If you keep on doing your duties, if you keep on doing your rituals, one after the another, then you will get moksha. And what is that moksha according to them? That moksha is going to heaven. As a result of doing a lot of religious actions and whatever worldly duties and actions that one has to perform. So Ramana Maharshi is pointing out these satyams, these truths in for our life. Truth bomb. So one has to have a mind and heart to accept it. So what changes by this, by seeing this truth? You become relaxed in life. You understand that everything in life will not go according to what I want. Remember the child's example. Something breaks. Some things can be fixed. A lot of things cannot be fixed. That's the way of life. That's how world is structured. I cannot be expecting something else out of the world. This is how it operates. So Maharshi is saying that. Moving further, second verse. Kritimaho dadhau patanakaranam phalamashashvatam gati nirodhakam. Maharshi says, in fact, these actions are obstacles to your spiritual life. This kind of a mindset where you think that actions alone can give me everything, with such a mindset, if you approach moksha, if you approach life, the very actions which helps you in the world to put roti, kapda, makan around you, that is food, clothing and shelter around you, the very actions can become a cause for your downfall. Kritimaho dadau patanakaranam. Maharshi says, these actions approached from this kind of purva mimamsakas mentality or a workaholic mentality will definitely make you drown in an ocean of actions. Because one action always leads to another action. One thing always leads to another thing. So you will be in this chakra vyuha. You never have a way out. You will always be in this chakra vyuha. Like Abhimanyu, you go in and you don't know how to come out. Abhimanyu syndrome. People will be like that in the chakra all the time. We don't want that. We don't want that. So Maharshi is telling us to recognize this, that karmas, when they are just done with selfish desires, can never give you ultimate joy and satisfaction. In fact, they take you lower and lower. And what about the phala, the result that a karma gives? Is that the ultimate? Because a lot of people are focused on results. I want the result of the action. A religious action is performed, a yajna is performed. I want the result of it. Whatever my prayers are has to be answered. Let us look at the nature of a result, a fruit. In fact, a result of an action is, the name in Bhagavad Gita or in Sanskrit is phala. Very nicely given. It's all very intentional and thoughtful, you see, in Sanskrit. Phala means a fruit. Let us examine a fruit. When you see a fruit, it's very nice, isn't it? So nice to look at it. And very tasty to eat as well. And now that fruit, even though you have purchased, or you have put all the manure and water, everything to the tree, and it has given you a fruit, what is that nature of that fruit? Is it perishable or imperishable? Perishable. Does it stay forever, even if you freeze it? No. There is a birth date to it. There is a expiry date to it as well. So fruit cannot stay in the same form as it is forever. It is there with you for a limited period of time. The same is the result of an action. A result of an action also is there with you for some time. After that, it will become a smriti, a memory. And after a while, that memory is also gone. It's as if it's just not there. As if it's just not there. So that's the nature of result. So by understanding this, our obsession with the things of the world will reduce. Because whatever you may purchase, whatever you may have, ultimately those results perish. It'll end. It's temporary. It's not permanent. Thus, your view of God, Bhagavan, also will change. What is our common man's view of Bhagavan? I should ask something and Bhagavan should give me that. So you look upon God just like you look upon Amazon. It should give me what I want. And also no patience to wait also. I want prime delivery within 2 days. They give an option. Maybe choose 3 days, 4 days. It will give less carbon footprint. No, I want it now. That's it. I want it now. So we look upon God and Jeff Bezos as same. In fact, I read somewhere, both of them, like this kind of an attitude makes both of them on the same category. God knows everything. Bezos has all our addresses, all our emails, all our phone numbers. In fact, he knows, God knows our wish list through prayers. Jeff Bezos knows our wish list because we have put it there, add to cart and wish list. God, what is stopping you from giving me all that I want. Jeff Bezos, you have billions. What is stopping you from sending all that things I want? So very rudimentary understanding of divinity. When your focus or view of life is, I want to pray, I will pray and God should give me what I want. But we are safe because we never questioned our approach. But when you question your approach to life, then we see the folly in the way we operate. Kriti mahodadau patana karanam. So, actions will keep on leading to other actions. There's never a last action after which I need not do anything. I will sit and drink chai. That state is never there. It will drown you into more and more actions. And what about the phala, the result of the action that we get? Phalama shashvatam gati nirodhakam. The phala that you get is ashashvatam, is temporary, it's not permanent. Gati nirodhakam. Gati in Sanskrit, gatyartaka shabdas have the meaning as jnanam. Gati means moksha. Gati means liberation here. Gati nirodhakam. The result, the fruits of action can become obstacles to your spiritual path. If you are all the time having this kind of a materialistic approach to your life. That's what Ramana Maharshi is pointing out to us. That may you come out of this kind of an approach. Examine world with a broader view. Look at life and look and notice that this physical life, vyavaharika life, is governed by a higher principle. And all my actions and the results of actions are governed by this principle. May you see this. May you see this. So, and restructure your life, transform your everyday life according to this truth. See, once you have an insight, we must put an effort to correct our orientation, isn't it? So that's a wise living. So you recognize that sugar is bad for health, so you modify your lifestyle in such a way that you don't consume refined sugar beyond a certain quantity. So having known these insights about karma phala, about God, prayers, the result of prayers, may you correct your orientation in alignment with the truth, which aligns with the truth. That's what one has to do it here. The third verse. Ishwararpitam Nechaya kritam Chitta shodhakam Mukti sadhakam. We will discuss this verse tomorrow, in the evening class. But Maharshi is giving us a way out. Life needs actions. You cannot be without performing your actions. Whether you are laukika karmas or religious worldly actions or religious actions, one has to keep on doing actions one after another, even though there is not like an obsessive desire controlling it, yet there are so many actions that one has to perform in day-to-day life, duties towards the family, duties towards oneself, various actions. How do I perform it? How do I perform it? And Maharshi is introducing Karma Yoga through this verse. So what is spoken in many verses of Bhagavad Gita, Ramana Maharshi just gives that in just one or two verses in Upadēśa Sāram. As I said, very loaded verses. We will unfold it in the evening class. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति।